Stay tuned for tonight's heartwarming special edition of the Better Your Business Show. We have Maria Munro, inspired by a childhood in a third world country, is on a mission to help with people who need love. This holiday season, let's come together to combat child hunger. Maria's story is one of compassion, commitment, and the spirit of giving. Stay tuned to discover how you can make a difference and bring joy to those in need. Don't miss this inspiring episode.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to tonight's special edition of the Better Your Business Show, People Who Need Love. We are so happy that you are here. I am Natalie, your host, and my partner in crime, Miss Shanna Mavis.
Hello.
Hey. Coming all the way from Oregon.
I know. It's crazy. We're on the same time zone. We're in the same time zone right now. And I'm still getting used to it. I've been here since Tuesday, I think it was. So it's just like, okay, let me adjust to this time zone. Let me figure out it's like 5 p.m. Got to be on the show. Today is my son's birthday. Happy birthday, Laz. So giving him a shout out. Yes. All right. I'm excited about tonight's show. I actually have known Maria for a while. I think we were calculating like 11 years or so. And she was so amazing when I met her. You know, she's just so full of life and joy and you know, just a pleasant person to be around. But I was going through LinkedIn, I think it was for the show or something, and I saw her profile or something she posted. And so I just clicked on it. It's like, you know, I don't know. I was like, I know her. Why am I clicking here? And I'll just chalk that up to God, right? Yeah. There's a reason that I'm on her site, checking it out. And I went down and I saw that she was involved in an organization. And so I clicked on it because the name of it, like you said, People Who Need Love. I was like, well, I know people who need love. What is this all about? And I clicked on it and found that she was the founder of it. And it's such a beautiful story. I'm so excited for her to tell us more about how the organization started, and looking forward to business owners learning from her, because if you're thinking about starting some sort of foundation, you know, many of us are on missions, right? We recognize that we were called to something greater than, you know, just whatever we're doing. And how do you bring that to life? How do you bring that to fruition? And so I'm curious to hear more of that backstory. So did you get a chance to check out the site? Yeah,
I did. I'm excited to hear about her foundation too, because obviously Sam and I want to start one. So I'm curious to hear more about her experience and stuff. And I just love what she's standing for. I loved hearing about her story. I love that it's called People Who Need Love. I told you I've been singing the Beatles for the last 2 days. But, you know, childhood hunger, that's a big deal. It's a huge statistic of kids that go to bed hungry. And I love that that's, you know, the feeling, just give them that feeling of having a full belly at night and going to bed and feeling warm and cozy. You know, it's such a, I think can take it for granted, right? But it's a big deal for them. So I love it. And then the other thing I loved when I looked at the website, which I was sharing with you earlier, was it's so inexpensive to take care of a child.
Yeah.
Right. And so it really just, again, put things in perspective.
Well, are we ready to bring her?
Yes, let's bring her in.
All right, Miss Maria.
Miss Maria. Hey. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
We are happy you are here and excited to hear more about your foundation and just more about your story. So if you could just get us started with a little bit about your background and just how this all came into fruition for you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me tonight. Actually, Shanna said something that she knows me since 2012, and she didn't know I started doing this in 2017. So that tells me that we need to do a better job sharing with people what we do, right? We don't need to do a marketing campaign. We just need to share our passion and with our friends and coworkers. So yeah, thank you, Shanna, for clicking there and finding out about the organization, right? Otherwise, you will never know I was doing this.
Right, right. And it's such a beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm with Natalie. I want to hear more about how it started and, just that tug on your heart that was just like, okay, I have to do something about this and the steps that you took to do that. I'd love to just, unpack that.
Yeah, it all comes back to the reality in my country, right? I'm from Venezuela. I came to US when I was 21. I'm 42 now. So I say it's been half of my life Venezuelan and the second half American. So I'm right there right now. And it started happening that the political situation was getting very bad. And I started hearing that parents were giving up their own meals so their kids could eat. Meaning that they could go a day or two without eating, so the kids could have one meal a day. And this was all over the newspapers. We were listening. It's getting really bad, right? Because we were hearing, yeah, we're struggling financially. The political situation is getting bad. But when you hear that someone is not eating in 2 days, so your kid can have one meal, something really bad is happening. Mm-hmm. So that was back in 2017, and I said, okay, let me start finding how can we help. Right. And here I have some family there. How can we start this? And I realized the cost of helping, food and shipping and putting all that together. The first time was over $500. So I said, you know what? I need to organize myself and make sure that these donations can really be in a way meaningful, but also I can keep track of them. And I say, if I'm going to do it, I'll have to do it right. So I went right into zombies and said, okay, how to create a nonprofit. I went to the IRS and I started that foundation to say, okay, what it takes to do a 501 C3 organization, all the legal financial background. Because in that picture you're showing right there, the very last one, that was the very first one in December 2017.
Wow.
That was 2,000 people benefit, because for that one, we partnered with a church. And you see, that was a big truck that was directly went to the church. And I'll tell you more about how we partner with churches, because it's easier to connect with people that have volunteers, so we don't have to use any of the funds to pay someone. So we just have the blessing of having people, giving their time, their resources to make this happen. Like we say, it takes a lot of people to make this work.
Yeah, it's I know the past couple of episodes we've talked about that concept of partnering with someone who is doing something in that space. It means that you use less of your or fewer of your resources, and they're aligned with your mission, right? So it makes it a lot easier for you to go further, faster. We cannot stress the importance of collaboration with organizations that are already doing things. It makes such a tremendous difference. And I love that you guys were able to serve so many more people as a result of that partnership. So that's amazing.
It's just a business, right? You have to keep track of your expensive donations. If I have any donations coming, I have to keep track. They need to get a letter so they can, put the exemption when they're doing their taxes. So this is serious matter, right? When I started doing this, I didn't know what was coming my way when it comes to the business side, because it's so easy to write a check when you go to church or say, okay, here's $100, and you walk away and you feel good about it. But then when you are running the business, you are responsible for the money they're giving you, right? And you have to report it, and you have to have accounting. Eventually, you want to do marketing. Like today, getting some exposure so other people know about you. And if they feel they want to be part of this and make an impact, then it's their money in my hands, right? So that's a big responsibility.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you. Did you know how to run a business before starting your foundation, or did you just kind of jump in?
I knew. I'm being
Okay. You're doing a great job in 5 years. I was like, wow, get it, girl.
a crazy entrepreneur with all these ideas. And if you go to Zombies and put my name, I'm sure I've started more than 10 companies in the last 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, with these ideas. So I knew how to have the foundation, what it takes, basic, but then you're learning as you go, especially when it's a not-for-profit. You don't know everything that is required by the IRS, by your
Yeah.
local authorities. One day I opened the mail and I have $500 fee. I'm like, what is this about? It's like, oh, you're supposed to file with the Department of Agriculture in your county. I didn't know these things, right? So you're learning also,
Yeah.
by failing.
Yeah.
So that time I reach out to the person that signed the letter and I say, listen, I'm going to be very transparent. This is a non-for-profit organization. You know how many kids can eat with those $500 that you guys are offering?
I love it.
They
Yes.
lowered it to $250. So I was able to
Oh,
negotiate.
good for you. I love that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, definitely an entrepreneur.
Now I mark my calendar. Never forget this again.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Thinking about all of the little things that you have to do and keep up with. But like you said, it's a business. I think a lot of people don't realize that not for profit is still a business. You still have to take some of these same foundational steps, like you said, the marketing, letting people know, even just your circle of people, and just taking it one step outside of that. Who do I know that doesn't know about this? Because there's so many people. Like the first thing I saw, I was like, oh, okay, well, I can do that. You made it easy on your website. It's just like, okay, this $20 will feed 100 kids. And it's like, oh yeah, that's a no brainer. As long as I know that that's where I can go and handle it. But once you get there, it's really thinking about those steps. And I love that your personality, I'm not even concerned about it at all. As far as, getting out there, getting the word out there. So many other business owners are a little nervous, a little shy. But it is just opening your mouth and saying, look, we've got something amazing going on. This is going to help so many people. Just sharing your vision and the heart of this mission that you've got. I'm looking forward to seeing so many wonderful things happen.
So there's something very unique about the way I structured the organization when people donate. I'll tell you why. When I started tithing to the church, one day I said, I don't know where my money's going, right? It could go to pay, I don't know, the water, the electricity bill for the church the structure, or it could go to a mission. It was something in my heart. And actually, that's what started kind of the desire to make it a real business, right? To say, what about if I use this money and I can see the impact firsthand of that money that I was giving to the church? And what about if I'm, try this and see how that works? And its impact now that I'm doing it, I see I'm glad I did that because it's impacting the life of my entire family, right? My kids are highly involved in the business. They help with packing. They help me with the social media, right? I partner with their school. They attend a Christian school here in Orlando. And we partnered to do the packing, the collection, the shipping. All the moms also donate their time. So that's the beauty about taking action, right? Because you don't know how you're gonna impact the end user, like the actual kids, but also people next to you, right? Giving, it's so beautiful because not only makes you feel good about yourself, leaving that behind for your kids to do that as well, and have that heart of giving. And I think that's something I couldn't give my kids. And I was so frustrated because I say, I grew up seeing this next to me, right? In Venezuela, you walk down the street and you see the kids, the homeless, eating out of a trash bag, right? And when you see that every day, and then you have the ability to change that somehow, it's, you have to take some responsibility. I think everyone have to take certain degree of responsibility for the design of society today and do something about it, right? And it doesn't have to be in the form of money. That's why I wanted to tell you more about the name, People Who Need Love. And I said, well, why the name? Because love can be, in this case, is a meal for a little kid in starvation. But love can be so many things. So I said, the day I decide to use this foundation for something other than feeding, the name is perfect. And actually, the foundation until today has helped moms that need medicine for their kids. They're dying in hospitals and they just need to buy this medicine. So we go and buy the medicine for them. We don't give them the money. I have someone that goes to the pharmacy and gives that mom the medicine, right? We are very, very careful with how we handle the money. And that's why when I asked for donations, I said, there's a commitment that there's open books that you can see exactly where your money is going, because that's what I wanted to see for myself. So I want to offer that for anyone that wants to support this organization.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so important. So when you started your foundation, then what was your next steps? What did you do next? Just did you start calling everyone you know and letting them know, hey, I've started a foundation if you want to donate? Or did you start running ads on social media? What was your next step?
I tried, but didn't go very well. Oh, good for you, right? I thought the idea of saying, hey, $20 are feeding 100 kids. I reached out to people that I knew had a decent income. I was like, why not? Nothing. I was like, okay, I can do this by myself. So yeah, it took a while for people to see, pictures, for me to share the story about what I was doing, to create that emotional connection, right? There's so many ways to give out there, right? Some people are already committed to a specific foundation because, they are more close to people with cancer. And that's okay. That's exactly what I'm saying. We just have to choose something. And even if it's your time, if it's not money, the value of that collaboration as a whole, as part of a community, of the country, of the world, it's gonna help us, the next generation, do better and better, right? So back to how I started and impacted my family. I say, well, who's out there that has some extra time that I can pay them to take, to go grab this food from UPS, right? Open the boxes and make the distribution to the right person that don't. And it's very scary to do this. In Venezuela, you might donate a box and they might resell it behind your back, right? It never got to the little kids. So I had to have people that I could trust that the food was going to those kids. So back then, my dad was kind of in charge, and he was cooking himself, because we started with soup. And why soup? I was like, okay, you're telling me they're starving, they don't have a meal, and to me, the soup that had the chicken and all the vegetables, it sounded like so good for these little kids, right? So we will make big pots of soup in the middle of communities that had no gas, right? We had to do it in the middle of nowhere. And if you look at the website, you'll see a lot of pictures of feeding hundreds of kids. They will bring their own container from home. At the time, I didn't have enough resources and money to also pay for a container. So you will see all type of containers. Some were really big, and they will tell, no, we can do that big one. You can only take this much. Some kids will just have a cup and say, like, we'll take the soup in that. Yeah, thank you. Actually, I was looking to partner with someone that was at some point willing to donate those bowls, so we could also offer that. But honestly, bring them their own work so well that I was like, why not, right? They just need the content. We don't need to be fancy when they're in starvation. Yeah, thank you for showing. So
And it probably makes it such a, I don't know, I feel like it would make it a better experience. Like it's community coming together. They're kind of involved in their own way. And as children,
yes,
right, they're getting to be part of this big thing.
absolutely.
I love it.
So from the soup, we transitioned to breakfast, and we started making pancakes. So think about this: pancake is nothing. They don't know what a pancake is in this country, right? And I was able to buy hundreds of bags, like 10 pounds. Why I chose pancakes? I say they only need to add water. That's all you need to make a pancake, right? Especially with this mix, right? Didn't ask for anything, no milk, no eggs, just add water and you will make a pancake. So we were able to make over 200 pancakes with only one bag. Imagine, that's my dad in the middle picture. He was highly involved. I think to see him and my siblings doing this, I look up and smile to God and say, you know what? Thank you, because this is not only about those kids, but for my family to be part of that. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to witness.
I love it.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I think that
So
everyone
what-
should have some type of experience like that, especially with their kids. I think it just helps keep everyone grounded.
Well, and it's inspiring. And I love that your children are learning, growing up, learning to serve, having that servant heart, seeing that not everyone has the same privileges and benefits that they've had, and they're giving back. And so it's such an amazing thing to witness, knowing that they're going to grow up and they're going to have some of that, it's already instilled in them.
Yeah, I always
So,
tell my son, he's 17 now. I said, to whom much is given, much will be required. I said, if you have the ability to give back, and like I said, even if it was that $20 commitment once a month, and you know that 100 kids will eat out of $20, why not? If you can make a difference, why not, right? I think it's such a simple model. The ability that I'll have open books so you see exactly where they went. And I did something very special in the beginning. If someone donated $100, I will ask them to make a sign with their name. So I will say like, thank you, Shanna. And the kids will hold it and record a video. So I will send it to you and say, these are the kids that benefit from your donation. And I think that made it so personal that some people cried. They say like, wow, thank you for sharing this. So it's not only that you send that money away and forgot about it, that you were able to see the impact that you made with that donation.
yeah. And how has that been for you? Because you are funding this yourself, and just knowing and seeing all of these children being fed. I know you mentioned your family, but how is I just can't even imagine how great that's got to feel to make such a significant difference.
It does. And I always say, the glory always first to God, that it's the provider. And I want to be a good administrator of all the blessings we have. So I wanted to find a way to help, like I said, but then staying humble, right? Because it's not about me, it's all about them, right? We are here. And I think my mission and my purpose is to serve others. And I do that in all of pretty much every area of my life. But then to do it someone you don't know, it takes a different meaning, right? When you help your sister, your neighbor, your coworker, of course you love them, right? And you want them to have a good life, or if they need a meal, you won't let your best friend starve, right? But when you do it to someone so far away that you don't know them, and then you get these pictures from those little faces shining because they had in the picture, they had no shoes, nothing. They just have this bowl of soup in their hands, and they were so happy just to have one meal, right? I think we're not used to witnessing that, and we forget about the value of a hot meal when it's in front of us. So, well, to that point, when I realized every picture, like, these kids don't have shoes. We need to do something about that. So I started researching. I probably need to go to China and, and get some flip flops. But back then, I found a good deal at Old Navy. In online, they had a really good promotion, and we ordered boxes and boxes of flip flops. I think like, it's easy because it doesn't have to be your size. It could be smaller, bigger. Like when you don't have shoes, you don't care if it's
Yeah.
7 because your size is
Yes.
7. Take an 8 or 5,
Yeah.
something. So I thought that was the best way to give them some shoes. Oh my goodness, that delivery of goods, that was touching. That was very special. So the organization, it's feeding, but then during summertime we do school supplies, and during Christmas we do toys. And only that one time we did kind of the massive donation of shoes and flip-flops. But when you start to see the need, right, I don't think you can go to bed not helping them if you have the ability to do so, right? It's like once you see it, you can be blind to the need of these kids.
Well,
true.
so what are some of the challenges that you've faced, in the past 5 years as you've been building this?
As a business, getting fees that you don't know that existed, right? That kind of like, okay, I need to learn more about, do it the right way. In challenges like accounting, when it comes, I have to print, 12 statements and start breaking everything down. The challenge is that this is not what I do, right? I have a job, and a mom, I have a life, and it's like, how can I do this, right? I have to be the accountant, I have to be my marketing, the shipping lady, the inventory. I have to wear all the hats. In obviously that's quite a challenge because the time is limited, right? But it goes back, when you want to do it, you make it happen, right? There's no excuses when you're really committed to a cause. If you have to wake up at 4 a.m., if you have to do it on Saturday, if you have to do it on a Sunday night, you make it work, right? And that's the important thing about passion. If you are doing it because you are passionate about the cause and what kind of what the benefit is like feeding kids, you're willing to wake up early to do accounting, right? It's like, I'll do it. As a child, I see it as a challenge, but then it goes so tight with commitment, right? It's like, what are you willing to do without getting paid? And that's exactly what I'm doing, right? I'm willing to do this to take some time to get to be able to do it right. Another challenge, I think, is getting donations, right? Getting people to choose you because of the many options that we have, the Red Cross, right? St. Jude, many companies that are really good at putting marketing out there and taking your money for that purpose. So I think that's the biggest challenge even until today. I could do so much more if I open up to donations, right? If I started taking this to another level. The ultimate dream is to build a school because now they have a meal, right? They're getting some supplies and resources to survive, but they don't know how to read. So the cycle is gonna continue, right? Gonna end up involved in crime. What's gonna happen when these kids become teenagers, adults, right? The idea and the goal is to break the cycle, and I believe the only way to do that is with education. So my ultimate goal is to build a school for this community, so the kids can also start learning how to read.
Who are your best collaborative partners for that?
In the beginning were churches, because they have the structure, they have the kids already coming into church for Sunday, and I was like, okay, the kids are already there. It was easy to make the meals, and they have the facility. So partnering with churches worked very, very well. Then with schools. same scenario. The kids are already there. They're coming every day. They have a facility where we can cook or prepare the meals. So the top two will be definitely churches and schools.
So what are some of the, other than like cash donations, are you accepting food donations, or is it primarily cash? I'm just trying to figure out how we can spread the word, what we can do, how best can we walk alongside of you, partner with you, request help.
Well, the donation of food involves the cost of shipping, right? So you have to really do the math, right? Okay, what's better? To give them $20 and they buy chicken and vegetables, right? Or send them a box of noodles, right? When you get to compare what makes more sense financially, then that's the answer. So I think at this point, money it's the most important, the tool, the donation, that it will make more sense, because we're helping kids in Venezuela. We are also helping kids in Cambodia. We had a partnership in India back in 2019, but the Christians were having a lot of challenges with safety, so they left that community. But the idea is to find another partnership in India at some point. And then we do a lot also in Orlando, Florida, where we live, so we can go to the homeless. We can go to the Christian center that we partner with in downtown and bring the meals ourselves, right? But definitely the donation, the structure right now, it's that if you give $20, like kind of like, it's a 100 kids ratio, right? And of course you have to take in consideration inflation, right? What are you making? But for the chicken soup, that's exactly what we're able to do. The $20, we can make 100 plates if we buy the ingredients ourselves, right? And that's with the help of volunteers. If we have to pay someone to cook, if we have to pay, that's why it's so important to have people that align to the purpose, so we don't have to pay anyone to do this job, right? So all the money goes straight to food.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's
Okay,
very
so how can I've got your website scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Is that the best way for people to jump on this journey with you?
right. So people who need love, I think it's a easy name to remember, right? And you have the donate now. You can do the PayPal donation. Then at the end of the year, you will get a letter from us saying that you donated this much money, so you can use it for your taxes. Other ways you could do. These days there's so many ways to send money, right? Venmo, Cash App, all that stuff. Because we do have, and part of the business, I need to open a bank account. I need to have all this structure as a business, right? To run it properly. So we do that. Other things that we could do, and now that you're asking me, that I do a lot, it's I go to Costco or BJ's, I place the order, it gets delivered to a warehouse in Miami. And from Miami, they pack it really well and they deliver for us. So I don't have to touch, sometimes I don't touch the actual donations. They just have a warehouse that does it for us. And if someone really wants to make a difference, I can see how they could also place the order. And I will provide the shipping instructions so this gets delivered. So that's kind of another option if you don't feel comfortable with the cash, with cash donations.
Yeah, well, and if you get cash donations, obviously, when you buy in bulk, you're able to spend less. So that's the importance of you having cash. It just makes it simpler overall. And then my other guess is, which I'm curious about, is I'm trying to package this politically correct, but some of the older, bigger organizations, there's uncertainty always about how much of your donation is actually going to help the cause, right? So with you having a smaller organization right now. I mean, obviously there's not, but and I'm saying with the bigger organizations, they're paying for employees. They're, I know with the companies that the organizations we donate to, I get gifts from them, which honestly it bothers me. I'm like, just keep the money from sending me this stuff. I like the letters, the pictures of the kids. I like that, but I don't want gifts from you. Keep it for the kids, or whatever. So, anyways, am I correct on that and thinking that?
Absolutely. And it's part of our culture, right? We have plenty and more than enough to do that, to buy gift for the supporters, but we don't realize that maybe building bigger churches is not going to help the situation of hunger worldwide, right? So I will, as a Christian woman, I'm ready to fight and to have that conversation with pastors and with leaders and say, like, I'd rather to go to church in a school, in a public park, and save millions of dollars that churches waste in these big fancy buildings that could feed an entire probably entire city in Africa, in Cambodia, an entire village, right? Like, have you done the math how $2 million church building could actually change and bring water to a community overseas, right? So I think we have to check on ourselves, because yeah, it's great that we have people that donate money, we come up with the money and we build a beautiful church, and that's okay. But if you are really committed, right, to make a difference, personally, I'd rather give up the fancy building and know that a village was able to get water instead, right?
Mhm.
It's how we see it, but we're so used to the way we do it that we can see it any different, right?
Yeah,
It's a
I
small
think that goes
topic.
back. Well, yeah, I think that goes back to a little bit of, we're naive over here. We don't see it as much. That's why I think it's so good. Even I love that your kids are involved, because, when we had teenagers, I kept thinking, can we take them to a third world country so they can appreciate and see how good they have it, 'Cause I
Yes,
think it just really puts things in perspective and gives us that, attitude of gratitude for all that we're blessed with.
correct. Unfortunately, we all take it for granted until you have the ability to experience that, or well, actually, you can do a mission trip with your kids, right? And take them to Dominican Republic if you don't want to go too far, and get to experience what is that. Personally, I've been in mission trips in Cuba, and it only takes you to be there one day to come back as a different human being, right?
Mm.
uh, it's to see it yourself. It's all you need to know that I can continue to live this life without helping these people, right? I think it's part of our selfish condition as a human beings, like, well, that's not my problem, right? That's Cuba's problem, like Africa's issue, Cambodia's situation, Haiti. Someone else is doing something for them. But the reality is that we are all part of one world, and we do have the ability to make a difference. And even if I have the ability to build a school for 20 kids, I will change the life of 20 kids,
Yeah.
right? It's not the size of how much you can do, it's doing something about it.
The ripple effect, because
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes,
it all matters.
it all matters.
And
Awesome.
I think it's really, I love that you're saying that, because we can find this anywhere. It's really just what you said at the beginning is not ignoring it. Once your eyes are open to it, don't ignore it. You can do
Yes.
something, anything, right? I know that there were times that it just warmed my heart. When in Oregon was the first experience that I had of it. One of the churches that I went to, they would always go, of course, there's feeding the homeless. And the first time I saw kids walking through that line, that was what opened my eyes. I didn't realize, even at the worst that I felt like I had it, my husband was laid off. I'm working as a temp. We've got kids ourselves. We didn't have it like that. We still had a roof over our head. We still had food coming into the house every day. We still had this huge support system. So it really is just not turning that blind eye to someone else when you see it and notice it. If you can do something about it, I recommend everyone does what you did, just
Yes.
if it's me, 4 o'clock in the morning, if it's me involving my family, whatever it takes, just do something
Yes,
to
there
help.
was a time we were only buying pizzas and taking them to downtown to the homeless just for the kids to do that, just to have our kids hand that pizza box to a homeless person, right? To see that they're sitting on the floor with no home, with the shopping cart, with all their stuff in there. It's a small, tiny thing. It doesn't cost you much, but you're leaving that behind for them to replicate when they're adults. And that's exactly what happened to me. I think I'm gonna close with this personal story that probably might gonna make me cry. But it was my grandma that kind of instigated this in me. It was one day we had a business, a furniture store, and we were outside, and there was this really old lady, homeless, and she smelled so bad. And I see my grandma walking this lady into the house, because we had the house over the business, into our bathroom. And my grandma called me and said, I need your help. We're gonna give this lady a shower. I was 12 by the time, and I'll never forget that we showered this lady. My grandma gave her clothing. We sat her at our table and make her a meal. And I think doing that with so much, seeing her doing with so much love, not doing like oh, she smells. She treated her like it was her sister needing a shower. And as a consequence, I did the same. I was like, I have to do this. But think about that. Who's actually willing to get someone homeless into your house, into your shower, and do that for a stranger, right?
Yeah.
That says a lot about how blind we continue to be about this reality that is next to us. But it takes one person to change someone else's life. And if you can do it, why not, right? So yeah, I'll always remember that day that my grandma did that beautiful thing, and it stayed with me forever.
I love it.
That's a great story.
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit of your story and what you're doing to help make a difference. And we just want to encourage everyone who's watching the show tonight, if this has touched your heart, you can go to peoplewhoneedlove.com and make a donation, or you can set yourself up, I'm assuming, on automatic donations. I'm a big believer in doing automatic donations. One of my mentors in life said, you want automatic blessings, you do automatic donations to things you're passionate about, right? You plant those seeds. And the funny thing is, once they're on automatic, you don't even notice they're getting taken out of your account anyways. So, yes, so I'll leave it with that. Shannon, anything you want to add?
No, I think, no, just go, do something. It's little,
Yes.
it's little.
Yeah, everyone's in the spirit of the season. Have an awesome holiday season. We will see you guys 2024. This is our last episode for this season. Season 6 will be starting next year, almost fully booked. So if you want to be on the show, make sure that you're getting your applications in. We're probably looking towards the middle of 2024 for season 7. But if we have some spots that we can put you in for season 6, we will. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us. Maria, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Shanna?
you. I just want to close with one invitation. If you're not able to donate, but if you know someone in need, you can also send that person to this website, because it's not only a homeless that needs food. It could be a single mom that lost her job that we can always help. So I wanted to show you the other side of the story, that we're not only asking and looking for donations, we're also asking for people to bless.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome.
Can't get
All
any
right.
better than that.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a great night. Love you so much.
All right.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.